Tonight on KGW News, how blankets and toothbrushes are helping bring hope.
You know, we're 1,000 miles away from where this is going on, but we want to help.
As Love and Essentials head south to survivors of the California wildfires. Also tonight, how 5 seasons of financial loss has Portland's Rose Festival cutting a few stems. And later, a local film insider reflects on working alongside the one-of-a-kind David Lynch.
He puts you someplace that no other director can put you.
As we drop by the Washington Diner, the one with the cherry pie that became famous through his eyes. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin tonight with a Gladstone woman fighting for her life in a coma after investigators say she was hit in a crosswalk by an intoxicated driver who this afternoon appeared in court. Alma McCarty spoke with the victim's son, who spent the last couple of weeks hoping and praying that his mom will pull through. Alma?
Yeah, David, he and the rest of Lene Dean's family and friends remain hopeful, but there's still such a long way to go after she broke almost every bone in her body when police say a driver slammed into her.
On the first day of the new year, 46-year-old Lene Dean was walking on McLaughlin Boulevard, not far from her Gladstone apartment.
She loves to be around people.
Her son, Richie Surratt, says as she was making her way back from the Texaco gas station, she was hit by a car.
Well, I had dropped everything I was doing at that point and made my way over to OHSU to, kind of just see the situation and the severity of what was actually going on. It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable to see his mother, normally so joyful and full of life, in a coma, fighting to survive.
Yeah, brain surgery, 2 back surgeries. Her pelvis was broken in half. Both of her legs are broken. Her arms are broken. Her ribs are broken. She had internal bleeding. It's quite frankly, she broke every bone in her body other than her left arm completely through.
Oregon State Police responded to the New Year's Day crash, arresting 36-year-old Whitney Green on charges of DUI, reckless driving, and assault. Prosecutors say she ran a red light, striking Dean in the crosswalk.
Rendered the victim in a state where she is, from the last that we learned, which was a few days ago, was unconscious, and there's a likelihood that she will pass away.
Richie, however, holds on to the hope that his mother will pull through, but understands recovery will take time.
When it comes to my mother, she's never going to have the same life again. She'll be a paraplegic. Best case scenario, she will be a paraplegic and or brain dead for the rest of her life.
2 weeks after the crash and unsure of what lies ahead, Dean's family started a fundraiser, looking to raise enough to cover the high costs of medical care.
As you can imagine, hospital bills are ridiculous as it is. So, when it comes to an emergency care and, 10 surgeries, 12 surgeries plus later, the bills are high.
Now, as for the suspect in this case, she pleaded not guilty today in court. And while her attorney argued for her release, the judge kept her bail at $100,000. David?
I just cannot imagine what the victim's family is going through here. Thank you, Alma. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines, it appears a man who was shot and killed Monday afternoon outside the Gateway Fred Meyer was trying to stop a robbery suspect. Police identified him today as 47-year-old Jonathan Trent. It appears he may have gone after someone who had stolen a woman's purse. So far, the shooter here has not been caught. Friday will mark 1 week on the picket lines for thousands of Providence doctors and nurses, and Providence is hoping to resume negotiations as soon as tomorrow. Hospital leaders say they sent the union updated proposals and a request for bargaining dates for 8 of its Oregon hospitals. Though in a statement tonight, the Oregon Nurses Association said the recent proposals, quote, do not reflect any meaningful movement, end quote. Nearly 5,000 workers are asking for better working conditions and pay. And Portland City Council voted Wednesday night to increase office budgets for themselves and the mayor by a total of $4.6 million. That's despite a $27 million budget shortfall. The money will come from contingency funds and not at the expense of homeless campsite and graffiti removal programs as first proposed. The funding will allow each council member to hire 2 staffers instead of 1. Councilors Dan Ryan and Steve Novick voted against that proposal. We're following new concerns tonight in neighborhoods hit hardest by the California wildfires. They include the threat of mudslides, particularly in the Palisades and Malibu when the rains finally come. Keep in mind, tens of thousands of people are still waiting to return to their homes. So far, more than 12,000 structures have been destroyed and 27 people have been confirmed dead. Among those, the father of a Portland man. Sha Zhao says last week he flew to LA to check on his dad, who lives in Altadena. Instead, he found his father's remains in the burned rubble. Shifeng Zhao had moved to the U.S. from China in 1989. Sha says his father, who was 84, loved the peace and the fresh air in Southern California and was an avid hiker there in the foothills. Authorities are searching for some 30 people who still remain missing. Meanwhile, here in the Northwest, efforts to help survivors of the wildfires are only growing. Catherine Cook shows us some of the new ways you can help make an impact.
Running the floor at Portland State, where the women took on Northern Colorado Thursday night. And as fans walked in ready for basketball, they stepped into an opportunity, a chance to help victims of the LA wildfires.
To see everyone bringing so much stuff already has been really, really cool to see.
Leah Tyne is Associate Athletic Director at Portland State. She says PSU Athletics is joining the Sports Bra in collecting essential personal supplies for those impacted by the fires. They're joining a national effort by women's sports organizations, including the National Women's Soccer League and LPGA.
So my hope is not only people in LA, but this organization feels the love from the women's sports community around the country and just knows that people are thinking about them and wanting to do something to help.
And there are so many somethings. Pendleton Woolen Mills just launched its own promotion featuring the company's Wildland Heroes blanket. Through next Wednesday, they'll donate 100% of the sales of this blanket in stores and online. Each blanket costs around $300. They're aiming for a total contribution of $100,000.
That is a drop in the ocean of what's needed down there, but it's a drop that we're proud to help support and give back to.
Bob Krisnock with Pendleton says money raised will go to the Red Cross LA County relief effort.
The folks in LA, I mean, they're our family, they're our friends, they're our customers. Our vendors are down there. We have stores down there, so it affects us personally.
Thursday marked 1 week since Portland Fire and Rescue and other local agencies responded to the LA fires. They have 1 more week to go. They posted this video sharing how much the public's support and prayers have meant to them.
We just wanted to take this opportunity to check in and say thank you. The scene down here is tragic, heartbreaking, and surreal.
Even 1,000 miles away, there are so many opportunities to help. The ball, as they say, is in your court. If you didn't get a chance to donate here, you can still drop off supplies at the Sports Bra through Friday. And we'll post information on that Pendleton blanket on KGW.com. In downtown Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Ball in our court. Well put, Catherine. Hey, you know what? It's not too late to donate to our partnership with the Red Cross. Thanks to your generous support, at least 450 of you, we have now raised over $58,000. You can scan the QR code, donate in person at any U.S. bank branch, or look for the links at KGW.com. $10 the minimum donation. All donations are tax deductible. Thank you for your kindness and your generosity. In an update, the FBI says the arsonist they believe set 3 ballot drop boxes on fire ahead of Election Day built the devices with a combination of metal shavings and iron oxide, something that is called thermite. Investigators say they believe the suspect is a man who acted alone and want folks to think about any unusual interactions they've had, wow, look at that, with someone in the last couple months. It might include someone who followed this story closely, they say, showed admiration, or maybe researched thermite. Agents say thermite can burn at extremely high temperatures and is commonly used by welders.
We are very concerned that the person who set these devices may end up hurting himself or other unsuspecting family members or neighbors.
Investigators also point to the possibility the suspect may have sold or repainted the vehicle involved. It's an older Volvo S60 sedan. The FBI continues to offer a $25,000 reward. New at 11, it seems it'll be left to incoming President Donald Trump to figure out what to do with a TikTok ban, even though it is set to go into effect on Sunday, the last day of President Biden's term. The Associated Press, the AP reporting tonight, he will not enforce the law. That's according to a U.S. official. Though Trump once called to ban the app, he has since pledged to keep it available in the U.S., though it is not clear exactly what route he will take to do that. We also have an update tonight on residents at a Portland affordable housing complex frustrated by a broken elevator that trapped them in their own apartments for weeks. Tonight, we found out the management of Y East Plaza in Southeast has made a temporary fix to the elevator. Management says it's still working to find a permanent solution. As we reported earlier this month, both elevators in the building had been out since December 11th after someone opened the fire line, flooding 3 floors of the building. Glad to hear they're mobile again.